Hey, my name is Pip, and today I'm going to run you through how to perform a single leg hip thrust, which is a fantastic glutes exercise if you really want to strengthen your glutes, grow your glutes, as well as engaging your core. I really recommend implementing unilateral exercises into your workouts because it can identify any muscle imbalance, strength imbalance, so you can work on that whilst also growing your glutes and achieving hypertrophy, which is basically muscle growth. With all of my clients, the rule is if you haven't done your dynamic stretches prior to training, you are not allowed in the weight section of the gym, meaning that you do really need to perform your dynamic stretches before training and your static stretches after. For any dynamic stretches, I recommend doing like hip rotations, leg swings, things like that, just to get the right muscles woken up and stretched. I also recommend doing glute activation exercises, things like clamshells, glute bridges, any kind of hip abduction, whether that's on the bench, which I can show you, or glute bridge with an abduction. Especially with things like single leg hip thrusts, it can be really beneficial. So I always recommend dynamic stretches before training, glute activation exercises, banded, non-banded, is up to you. Get into the actual exercise, static stretches to finish. Okay, now let's actually get into performing the movement. So because every gym has some form of variation of a bench, I'm going to show you with a bench. However, you can also use a box, or like we have a hip thrust specific pad, but not that many gyms actually have it. So let's just go for a conventional bench for now. If we do anything, I want to think about your foot position, sorry. So you'll probably see everywhere people doing the little trick of putting your heel where your knee ends. So if you align your finger with where your knee is and then bring your heel up to that position, obviously doing the same on both sides. So with a normal hip thrust, this would be your starting position. However, with a single leg hip thrust, you actually want your working leg to be more central. So you want to bring it more into the center. From here, I like to put my shoulder blades on the box, pushing up with the heels of my feet to propel me up. So from here, you'll see that my shoulder blades are nice and stable on the bench. This is where you want your upper body to remain the whole time. It will also then help you stabilize your back as well and just make it a bit more comfortable. So when you perform the movement, you want to push off with the heels of your feet, bringing your non-working leg up, squeezing your glutes at the top. I personally like to align my non-working leg with the heel to the working knee, if that makes sense. So my non-working leg, heel to my knee. Bring all the way down, breathing in, push out, breathing out. Squeezing your glute at the top. If that is too easy for you, then you want to start adding a bit of weight. So I recommend getting a dumbbell. As it's a unilateral movement, meaning you're working, in this instance, one leg at a time, you will not be able to go as heavy as you would a conventional hip thrust, or even if you started doing hip thrust, dumbbell hip thrust like this, you will not actually be able to go heavier if you're using both legs. Of course, we're using one at a time, so don't be silly, pick a comfortable weight, a lighter weight. Now incorporating the dumbbell, you want to go back into that starting position. So from the top, heel to where your knee ends, coming up so that your shoulder blades are nicely placed on the bench, bringing your working leg into the center. Now the dumbbell is going to go below your hip bone so that you're not loading all the weight onto your hip bone, which is going to be really uncomfortable. It also means that the weight is directly targeting your glutes. I try to hold the dumbbell from the inner section with my palm facing away, pushing the weight so that it doesn't want to drop onto my hip bone. Drop the non-working leg. We're going to drive down, push up through the heels, squeezing your glutes at the top. You want to ensure that you're engaging your core so that you're not arching your back. It's all one motion like this. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you found that beneficial.